Good morning, students. Today we're jumping right on into Chapter 3, Political Parties and Elections. And we're talking about the idea of voting and who has the ability to do it and how do we go about doing it. So, the first part of your notes, remember you're going to highlight, underline, write all these out. The first part says the voting is a basic responsibility of citizenship. Reminding you guys once again that responsibilities are not required, whereas duties are required. Only citizens who register can participate in federal and state elections. So our federal elections are typically our congressmen up in DC and our presidential elections. Our state is talking about our state of government, our state governments down in Richmond. And then the last part is the voter registration. In order to vote, you actually have to register to say that you are a qualified citizen to vote. So what are the qualifications? Well, there's three basic qualifications. The first is you got to prove that you're a citizen of the United States. The second is that you got to prove that you're a resident of Virginia and the precinct that you live in. So you got to tell like what neighborhood area you live in. And then you got to be at least 18 years old by the day of the election. So there's a couple different ways that you can register. You can actually do it in person at the registrar's office, over the DMV, or at other designated sites, just like we had during the COVID this year. There's different places where you can go and register so that people didn't have to be in an office, or they could do it in a social distance manner. Another way is by mail-in application, and the last is online. Now, with the DMV, if you change your address with the DMV, it does also request that you can change your voter registration, something that I learned just recently with moving. Registration is actually closed 22 days prior to the election, and this was changed this year for a lot of states because of COVID-19, but in normal years, 22 days prior, you have to register. And then there's these guys that these men and women who predict who will vote and who will not vote and how they'll vote. And those three main factors that we look at are age, income, and education. Here's a slide just about the voter registration page and what it looks like. And then a good infographic to show that as we get older, people vote more often. So the age group that votes the most is your 65 to 74, or even the 55 to 74 age range, these two age ranges. The group that votes the least is the youngest, the 18 to 24. We see that as we get older, we see the importance and the value in voting. So why do people fail to vote? One, it's just lack of interest, and that's why most 18 to 24-year-olds don't vote. And then the other is that they forget or they fail to register in time. The percentage of voters who participate in the presidential election is usually greater than the percentage of voters who participate in the state and local elections. We see that in this past election, we had the most or the largest turnout of voters. And some people put that to the idea that we were able to mail in our votes versus have to show up on a single day and vote. We do want to make sure that we understand that every vote is important and every vote counts, and every vote is just as important as somebody else's in this process. So we'll stop right there for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And remember to be kind to everyone. It's really important.